Hello my book besties, welcome to the last official monthly TBR of 2023, aka my December TBR. I am just so in shock that it is coming up towards the end of the year. That is so wild to me. Also, of course, I had to bring out my Christmas PJs. I know technically it is not December as I'm filming this video, but I'm already in the festive spirit, so it's fine. So we're going to be using my TBR jar full of reading prompts to pick out the books that I will hopefully read in the month of December. I do have like 3 Christmas books on my physical TBR, so hopefully some of these prompts will match up to those books because I am so here to be reading festive Christmas books in December, but let's see how it goes. I am also planning to film a 2024 TBR, but I have no idea how I want to film it. I don't know if I want to do it as like a random generator picks the 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Do I want to use my TBR jar full of prompts? Please let me know what you guys want to see because I have no idea how I want to film that 2024 TBR. Leave any suggestions down below. With that all being said, let's pick out our December TBR. I feel like because December is the last month and I know I'm going to be so busy, but let's aim to pick 8 reading prompts because it's the last month. Let's go for it. Okay. This is going to be our first reading prompt, and that is a rom-com. Okay, well that is very easy because a lot of my books on my bookshelf are rom-coms. Okay, I have 2 books that fit this prompt and they are both Christmas rom-coms, so I'm gonna be excited either way depending on what I pick. But the first one I've got here is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This cover is so pretty because it's like a pink Christmas vibe, which is so my vibe. I don't really know too much about this book, but I do know that it is a spicy holiday romance and it's just looks so cozy because I think it's actually set in like, oh, it's set in a small town, so it's also a small town romance, which we love. And then the other contender I have is The Holiday X-Files by Jennifer Peel. This is basically following a girl who finds her husband cheating on her, and then she creates this business called The Holiday X-Files. And then she meets her ex-husband's best friend, Noah, and he is like really attractive and he has a plan to help her believe in the magic of holidays again, and obviously they end up falling in love. So it's also got the, I don't know, what trope is this, like ex's best friend? I don't even think I've read a trope like that before, but I think that's gonna be so interesting. We have these 2 as the options and I don't know which one I want to go with because they both sound good. I don't know. I mean, realistically I'd probably try to read both of these, but I feel like I want to go with The Holiday X-Files by Jennifer Peel because I really wanted to read this one last Christmas and I didn't get around to doing it. So I'm going to pick for the rom-com prompt, The Holiday X-Files by Jennifer Peel. Okay, well that is off to a great start because I really did want to get at least 1 Christmas book and first prompt matches a Christmas book. So I'm happy about that. All right. So this is our second reading prompt, and that is a book that starts with the first letter of your last name. So that would be R for me. So let's see what book starts with the letter R. I have a lot of books that start with the word the, so I don't know if I should be counting that as well, ignoring the and going straight into the second word. I don't know if I should do that. I mean, it's my TBR jar game. That's my rules. Well, I've already read Red, White and Royal Blue, but that would have been like the perfect book for this prompt, but I've already read it, so no. Do I even have any books that could go with this reading prompt? Not that I can see. This is, I think, as close as I'm going to get. This is technically starting with an A, but the book is called A Risk on Forever by N.S. Perkins. I don't count the A, okay? Because it could still be called Risk on Forever. I feel like this is more of an emotional romance as well. That's what I've heard, and it's giving very Me Before You vibes. We're basically following our main character, Adelaide. She gets hired to be the caretaker of this guy's mother who has ALS, and it's giving very much Me Before You vibes, but obviously quite different. And Matthias, the guy, is like not really a huge fan of her because he thinks that she's very like childish and like she's not going to be able to do her job correctly, but his mother is like, no, I want Adelaide as my caretaker. And obviously they're forced to spend more time together because she's looking after his mom, and it kind of goes from there. I believe that's what this story is about, so I feel like this is going to be more of an emotional romance, which I think is going to be great to kind of change between my holiday rom-com to something more like an emotional read. So I think that's going to be great. And then our third reading prompt is going to be a book that you haven't heard many reviews about. Oh, okay, this is gonna be fun. Not gonna lie, a lot of the books on my bookshelf are booktok recommended. I mean, I haven't heard too many reviews about A Risk Gone Forever and The Holiday X-Files, which are on my TBR already. But what else is on here that's kind of underrated that I haven't heard people talk about? I mean, this could work. Okay, I have two books here that I think match with this prompt. So the first one is The Off Limits Rule by Sarah Adams. Sarah Adams is a popular booktok author, but I feel like I haven't heard anyone really talk about this book. A lot of people talk about her other books like When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect, and The Cheat Sheet, but no one has actually talked about this book that I have personally heard many reviews about. So this is a brother's best friend romance trope. It's forced proximity because our main female character actually has to move in with her brother, and her brother's roommate is his best friend, and they don't really like each other, so it's sort of enemies to lovers and brother's best friend forced proximity roommate situation, which I think is going to be really, really great. This is also another short book. It's less than 300 pages. And then this book I have heard literally no reviews about. None of the booktok creators that I follow or any of my friends have read this book, so I don't really know anything about the book or any reviews about it. So I'll go literally completely blind. How to Plan Your Fake Wedding by Justine Lewis. Like I said, I don't know anything about this book. I want to go in completely blind, especially because I haven't heard anyone talk about this book. So I don't know. I have these two. I'm kind of leaning more towards How to Plan Your Fake Wedding because this is truly a book that I have not heard anyone talk about. I probably heard some people talk about this just because Sarah Adams is a popular author, but not particularly on this book. But I think, yeah, let's go with How to Plan Your Fake Wedding by Justine Lewis. It just sounds like a fun kind of situation. It's like a love square situation. It literally says, can four friends find the futures they want, or will their secrets tear them apart? I love wedding settings in a book, and this just sounds really interesting, and I'm really excited. Okay, so our fourth prompt is a book published this year. So a new release, okay. I can definitely get behind that because I know exactly what book I want to read for this one. Like, this one is easy pick for me. Oh, actually, no, it's not an easy pick because I have a few options. I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't know. I thought I knew which one I wanted to pick, but I have two options here and I want to read both of them like really badly. The first one is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. In my end of year TBR video, I did say that I really want to read this before the end of the year, so I'm kind of leaning more towards this, but this is the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series. This is following Lena and Nash's story. I'm going to be back in this small town that I absolutely adore, and I'm just really, really excited to read this one because I read Things We Never Got Over back in October and I absolutely loved it. And I was really excited to read this book, and I really want to read it in December or like before the end of the year. Well, it's going to be having to be in December because December's the last month, but I think I might go with this. But the other one that I was thinking of was At the Foot of the Cherry Tree by Ali Parker, because this is the author's debut novel and it's also got the long distance trope, and I am in an LDR myself and I have never found a book that really does long distance besides maybe Red, White and Royal Blue. So I really want to read more books with that trope because I feel like I haven't read too many books with the long distance trope. Please recommend me some if you've read any. At the Foot of the Cherry Tree is a book that I do want to read, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Things We Hide from the Light because I really want to read this book by the end of the year, so it has to be this one. Our fifth prompt is a book with a real person on the cover. Fun fact, one of my biggest book icks is when a book has real people on the cover. No, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So, but I have a feeling there should be a few books on my TBR surely that have real people. Like, I know I have Bridgerton, which technically has a real person on the cover. Well, yeah, it is a real person on the cover, but I don't know what... I don't think this is the first book. No, this isn't the first book, so I can't read it. Guys, I don't know if this is gonna really fit this prompt, but would you count Indigo Ridge as like a real person on the cover? Because that is still technically a real person, but like it's got mountains on top, like kind of covering her face. Does that count? I feel like it does. Surely it does have to count, right? Because it's a real person's face. Like I can literally see that. It's just kind of covered by mountains. I'm gonna go with this because I don't really want to do any rereads this month. So I'm gonna go with Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. This is the first book in the Eden series, and this is also a romance, a small town romance mixed in with like a murder mystery situation going on, which I think is gonna be so fun. Like, I don't know, I just think that just sounds really good. I love small town romances. I've heard a lot of good things about the Eden series. I'm yet to read a Devney Perry book, so maybe December is going to be the month that I finally do. And also this is another short book, which I feel like is just perfect. Like it's literally like just over 300 pages, like 320 pages. So, and the font, you kidding me? That's like the ideal font that I want in my books. So we're gonna go with Indigo Ridge because that's the only one on my physical TBR that I think matches this prompt. Our next prompt is a book with a flower on the cover. I'm gonna go with At the Foot of the Cherry Tree by Ali Parker because it's got cherry blossoms on the cover. That one was easy because obviously I was tossing up between this and Things We Hide from the Light for another prompt. So I'm gonna have to go with At the Foot of the Cherry Tree for this one. All right, we've got 2 more prompts left to go. A BookTok classic. I think I know what I'm gonna do for this prompt. So I don't have the physical book with me right now, but I think I'm gonna go Akamath. So A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas, which is the second book in the ACOTAR series. I actually just recently finished ACOTAR, so I feel like this is the perfect book for it. Plus I feel like the series is a BookTok OG classic, so goes so perfectly with this prompt. It's a fantasy romance or a romantasy, and I feel like the way ACOTAR ended, I need to pick up the second book straight away. So I'm gonna read Akamath, and I'm really excited because everyone says that this is the best book in the series. Like it's like everyone says I'm gonna love it, so I'm excited. This is gonna be our last prompt. I hope it's gonna be a good one. A book with cozy vibes. Okay, this is a really good prompt because I'm gonna go, I don't know if this is cozy. I feel like this is cozy because it's Christmas. Christmas is cozy vibes. Merry Little Be Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. So I'm excited. I am so happy because I feel like I was gonna read this anyway in December. So this fits in perfectly. I am so happy that I was able to include this book as well. So that concludes my December TBR. I had so much fun with these prompts. I feel like we got like the best prompts ever this month, which was like the best way to end off 2023 with our last ever monthly TBR. And I have been loving doing these TBR jar prompts. I think I'm probably going to continue on with this next year as well because it's just been so much fun. It's also really helpful because I am very indecisive when it comes to my TBR videos, so this is like perfect. So let's do a little recap, go through all the prompts and all the books that match with them. For a book with cozy vibes, we are going with A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. For a book with flowers on the cover, we're going with At the Foot of the Cherry Tree by Ali Parker. For a book with a real person on the cover, we're going with Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. For a book that I haven't heard many reviews about, we're going with How to Plan Your Fake Wedding by Justine Lewis. For a book that starts with the first letter of your last name, we are going with A Risk on Forever by N.S. Perkins. For a rom-com, we're going with The Holiday X-Files by Jennifer Peel. And last but not least, for a book that was published this year, we're going with Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. We have got an amazing lineup for our December TBR, so let's see if I can actually read all these books on my TBR. So stay tuned for my December wrap up at the end of December. Also, my November reading wrap up will be the next video post, so stay tuned for that to hear about all the books that I read in November. I feel like we had a really good reading month in November too, so hopefully that carries across in December. But if you guys enjoyed watching this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below. I post new videos every single week. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned and which one maybe I should start with in December because I really need the help, obviously. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!